I've been looking forward to this one because I have talked so many times over the last couple of weeks with Sami Selio. I felt for him because he got stuck down in Sharjah. Sami is the owner and team manager and driver for the Sharjah team. But before we talk directly with Sami, have a look at this little video, which was from an exhibition in the start of 2019.
The Sharjah team became our main partner for this year, 2019, and supporting our team in the Formula 1, Formula 4 and junior classes. And I'm racing now on always on the color of Sharjah. And we are make the competition in the Formula 1 World Championship Series around the world and presenting Sharjah team in there. Next step for our team is going to race in Portugal, where it's the second round of the Formula 1 World Championship Series. And we hope there to be a minimum in top 3 positions there, but of course we're aiming to win. We try to put the Sharjah on the map of the world, the well-known tourist destination and the country that everybody knows. And after the Portugal race, we will race next time in France, in Evian. And after that we go India, China, and in the end, championship will end it in Sharjah in December with the final round of the Formula 1 World Championship Series.
Sami, welcome to my little live stream.
Thank you, Frode. Thank you.
The quality is not so good today, and the obvious reason for that is you are sitting in a small little cabin in Finland. First one to send us a comment today is Ahmed Al-Ansani, your principal in Sharjah. He is following us live. And I just want to say, before we get started, that if anyone has a question, feel free to post it in the comments, and me and Sami will try to answer as good as possible. Anyway, good to be back in Finland, Sami.
Yeah, it's good, but not so good also same time. But it's a couple of days more, then I can go back to home, so then it will be good.
You are one of my friends that I've paid most attention to during this quarantine, honestly, because before we go in to talk about racing, I want to talk to you about the last few, especially last month, you know, because it's not that long time ago since you and I had a good night, let's say in freedom in Estonia at the Nordic meeting. We were talking about racing and you were going to the Emirates and so on, but after that, we have seen you wearing a mask, wondering how you can get out of Sharjah and so on. Tell us and the audience a little bit about your last month, Sami.
Yeah, of course, now when the team is based in Sharjah, all the team stuff was there. Of course, Formula 1 stuff, we sent it already the first race to Saudi Arabia, what was unfortunately cancelled. And then I went back to Sharjah to repair the Formula 2 stuff. And we just shipped that in a few weeks ago back to Europe from Sharjah. So it was a little bit delayed, the program with the Formula 2 boat. So then I was stuck there because they closed the airport. I couldn't manage to find a flight in the last day flight. So, and we had some work there to do, but of course, slowly they start to closing the countries down, like in the Europe and everywhere, and start to be carefully with the virus. So then in the end, we was quite...
We are obviously having a little delay in the Skype from Sami. Can you hear me now, Sami?
Yeah.
Good, we're back.
Yes.
We had a little delay, anyway.
Yes. So then finally there was the one evacuation flight what was organized by Finnish embassy and Finnair together. And when they opened the airport for those flights, then I was managed to get the ticket from that flight and get safely to Finland.
But the last, how many days were you actually locked down in total isolation in the small hotel room there? It was more than a week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the week, but still in that moment in Sharjah was not completely locked down. Only in the evening, after the 6 o'clock in the evening till the 6 o'clock in the morning, you couldn't go out. And then you should avoid going out there. But you was able to do some walks and there, but with the distance, wearing the mask, and they was checking, every supermarket was measuring the temperature. You need to wear the gloves and the mask. So they take good care, and they do really good job there in the Emirates. I need to be proud what they're doing and how seriously they was taking this COVID virus in the beginning.
Because you and I, we were both actually making jokes and was not so happy when the whole thing started, but that quickly changed when we realized that the whole situation was gonna affect the whole world, basically, you know.
Yeah, it was okay. Okay, it was not really the joke, but of course we had the big question mark how serious it will be. But I think everybody was very surprised how bad it came in the end. Everybody was saying that it was strong flu and okay, people will die for it, but mostly for old ones. And there was the virus every year around the world with the flu, what is strong, and some people is dying for that. So it was not so bad in then, but unfortunately it went very strong, and I think it's very bad thing and putting the whole world in the upside down now.
William Upsinger says, "I'm a great fan from Sami." That's a good comment. That's not a question. That's a compliment, which we will say thanks for. Finally, Sami, you were admitted to fly home. You told us that the government set up an flight for you guys so you could fly home. I followed you that day. You had a big stress only to go to the airport, but it was not like you could go straight home either, because you took your responsibility very seriously when you came home also. I mean, many people would probably go straight home and join the wife and the kids, but you choose to do different. Why?
Yeah, of course, it's serious thing now, and a lot of people has been getting sick. Maybe I have been sick, and who knows, because you can be also carrying the virus without any feelings or anything. So I follow all the instructions, of course, and the rules what they are making for it, and it was highly recommended, not forced to do it, but it was said that you should do it and you should follow that. And I did this for not only for me, but also for my family, my friends, for everybody, because it would be difficult to me to live with that information. If my friend would visit to me and come to say hello to me, I would give them the virus, and then they would be maybe in the bad condition or even die for it. So how I could live for the future with that information? So of course, after I have been following instruction and doing my best, if something will happen later on, at least I tried to follow and do my best. So I feel it's everybody should do it and follow instruction what the governments and the countries and the more clever people who know how the virus is, it's making for us, and follow those and try to stop the virus. It's same from Emirates, how serious they was taking there. They started cleaning the street and everything. And for me, it was first thing when I saw those things happening there, you was thinking that maybe they are a little bit overreacting, but absolutely not. They was doing absolutely right things, and everybody should follow those countries. They are good examples how they should try to control the virus.
I tried to explain to Camilla, my little bonus daughter, and so on. I said, sometimes we have to listen to the adults. And in this time, the adults are the government. And they have so much research and so many information, probably which also we have not been shared with. So I'm really proud. I'm really proud of the way you handle it. Because try to explain to us, I mean, we're parents and we have kids and so on, but last Friday, I saw there was like a pizza at your door, you know, and a photo, you catch the kids standing at the end of the road, waving to you, you know?
Yeah, that was one of the hard moments. Of course, now with technology, you can call them and talk with them all the time, but it's the kids, funnily, it's quite amazing. They don't like to talk so much in the phone.
Oh, they don't have time.
Yeah, they want to play the games and do all the funny things, but just the normal talking in the phone, they really don't like to do it so much. Even with me, I don't know why.
Because but, time.
Yeah, but it's for sure. In Friday, they make some gift for me, and we always try to keep it on our families. The Friday is the pizza Friday.
Now we had a little delay again. Let's see if we can have the Skype.
Yes, now we are.
We're here again.
So pizza, yeah. So Pizza Friday is like a habit for the family. So they did the nice thing. They was bringing me the pizza behind the door and just waving for me and say hello, all the good, and waiting for me to be home. But honestly, it was very emotional
I can imagine.
moment, and it was quite quiet here to eat the pizza alone. Then and they just left there, so it was not nice.
Because you shared.
But we have to do.
You shared also a private conversation with me before we started that it gives you some reflection also back to your childhood when you had experienced this before, and it gave some memories to you as well.
Yeah. I have a little sister who is 3 years younger than me, and she was very small. I think 3 years old. I was 5 to 6 years old then, and she had the big heart operation. Then she born with the problem on her heart. So then they make the one of the first really big operation in that time in Finland. They did it for her. She was one of the first one where they make that so big heart operation in Finland, and she was a long time away from, of course, from our house. And finally, she get the chance to get back. So before she was able to go to our apartment, our house, they put me in the car, and I only could wave and see her through the window of the living room, and then I went for the isolation for my grandfather's house. So it was quite emotional time that, and then it came to my memory also for that. So you can see your own kids now with not behind the glass, but they are in a few meters distance, and then they just waving you, and you cannot hug them or whatever. And honestly, I have been a lot away this year, and end of the last year, we stayed in the Sharjah. Luckily, they were spending the Christmas time with me there and the New Year in the Sharjah. But after that, we not have seen them hardly nothing. So it has been quite a long year.
I have a friend, or we have a friend from Germany, Sven Grekels. He always asks the same question, and today it's particularly good question. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no? He asked Sean, he asked Marit, he asked everyone.
Yeah, for me it doesn't matter. I can eat it for me, and it's quite strange things. Everybody know the Hawaii pizza is the one of the famous, like after the margarita in the worldwide.
Yeah.
And in that pizza you have the pineapple and ananas, like we call it in Finland.
Yeah.
And the ham and cheese. And then in Italy, when you go there, nobody don't put the ananas like they call it there in the pizza. Never.
It's not happening. It's not.
No.
Okay, Sami. Strong story. When are you to finish up the Corona and the quarantine story? When are you able to go back home to see your wife and kids?
Actually, in Wednesday morning or Tuesday night, I could. Then I have been done that 14 hours. So let's see if she will pick me up on Tuesday evening or just on Wednesday morning. So we will see.
Maybe she needs to rest before you come home. So let's see. We have another Swedish friend, Gustav Linden. He says, how many Formula 1 and Formula 2 boats do Sharjah team own nowadays?
What we have, I need to count.
Yeah.
We have 4 Formula 1, 2 Formula 4s, and Formula 2 boats.
Yeah.
So we have where we end up 8 boats at the moment, plus all the junior boats. So we have quite a lot of boats already. And more is coming.
Because I asked you when we were waiting for the show to start here what your father was doing nowadays, and because I know he's been following you all these years, and you said he was busy building junior boats. And are they for Sharjah team or are they for Finland?
Both. We need some. I need new junior boats in Finland for my kids, and then there is some clients who wants to have new kids to come to racing. They need to have the boats, and of course we have the big plans in the Sharjah to make it really the junior class there to grow. Also GT 15, 30, and all these classes is big task there to make it a lot of boats there. And we can able to start the racing there.
Let's see if I can find a small little video from Sharjah where you are racing with the small boats. I am doing my level best to have it here on the screen now. And this is actually showing your private club area. Is your stepbrother and your daughter racing here, or?
Yeah, there are, I cannot see unfortunately now, but I think there's. Yeah, it's my stepbrother. What is with GT15 and my son and daughter with SJ10. So they was all training there in the December and January. And then my son came to training second time. He was there end of February to training a bit as well.
Let me see if I can get us back. Here we are. Because you had... Okay, many of the followers know that I was also spending December, part of November. Oh. You're back?
I'm back again. Yes.
Back again. I also spent a big part of November and December with you guys in Sharjah and Abu Dhabi and so on racing, and you actually had your kids to race on the parade lap in Sharjah. How did that come up?
Yeah, Sharjah wants to have the presentation of those junior boats in during the race weekend there, and they had to stand there where all the boats of the club was shown to every class, and then they get the idea that we should put the kids to run in front of the field in the Formula One parade lap, and for me it was great. Of course, big emotions there, to having put them in the boats and have them going in front of me, and I just could not imagine how it would feel. It was amazing. Yeah. And I could also say, when I was running with SJ class myself, and if we would have the opportunity to go front of Formula One field, it would be well for me.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You raced so many classes, Sami, on your way to Formula One. And the first time I met you, it was in Portugal, actually, where you were a young crazy Finn and I was a crazy Norwegian driving Formula 4 class. I even think I borrowed your battery so you can manage to enter the race, because my weekend was over. But my question is, on all these different categories you have raced, what was your favorite? I mean, Formula 1 is obvious, but on the way there, and which class and why?
Okay, I did not race so much. Before I went to Formula 1, only Formula 4 was the main class what I was running there. I only test Formula 3. You did some races there, but we had the plan and the dream to go to Formula 3, but it actually never really happened. So we was only doing the testing. But for me, Formula 4, in that time, the speed and the weight ratio for Formula 4 boats was great. It was very fast, almost 150 kilometers per hour, sometimes even more. And how the boat was handling and whatever was very demanding at that time. And there was a lot of boats, and competition was very tough. So we all, a lot of friends of us went through that one, and some of them went for Formula 3. But I think Formula 4, and especially after that, Formula 3 was very demanding and great classes. And unfortunately, okay, Formula 4 is a little bit different now, but we don't have Formula 3. But in that time, there was great classes, high speed, and you need to really have the skill to drive those catamarans and with that speed.
You learned a lot coming through Formula 4. I mean, I used to say that if you can race a Formula 4 catamaran on the limits, you can race anything, and Formula 2 and Formula 1 is feasible, right?
Yeah, for sure. That okay. When you went, like for me, almost straight from Formula 4 to Formula 1, okay, the difference was unbelievable. But it's still, the driving is completely different. Formula 4 is so sensitive, and you are so much on the edge. Where you don't go that much on the edge, you cannot go with Formula 1 boat in that time. Now is the things has been changed again. Now you are more close at edge with now recent Formula 1 boats. But But that time it was completely different story.
We are lucky and we're getting a lot of questions in. Before I continue, I will post a question from Ken McRory. He has been with us a number of times talking about Formula 3. He was the big champion in that time. But his question is, what will it take to beat Guido's team? Jack Moore from UK says a lot of money, but what is your answer to the question?
Yeah, okay. Of course, money helps and make the things happening, and it's more stuff able. You are more able to get the more stuff what you need for it, but it's still hard. They have been done so great job all these years. Like the Guido's team, the real team, what he had it around him and building the boats, and Guido himself, the putting up the team and managing it, and he has been the best. Of course, they had almost always the greatest budget for it. He worked hard for that, and he make the result. So it's very tough thing, but we have done it that in the past. Like this year, last year was not far from that. Jonas with the small team would beat them also like we did it in the past. So everything is possible, but of course you need to be very focused on and try to work hard and try to beat them, but it's not easy.
Throughout your racing career, who has been the toughest drivers to keep in your mirrors? Guido, Scott, or Sean Torrente? And which one and why?
Okay, it's all the drivers who is next to you and you see in the mirror and try to catch you. They are all the same. So as long as they're staying behind, they are all the same. So you don't know. But yeah, it's there in the mirror. But of course, we had it. Let's say Scott has been most fairest driver, and for sure.
Most fairest driver, Sami said, and he has some small Skype problems. Let's see if we can get him back. Says connecting. This is the challenge when we are trying to have Sami with us from a small little cottage in Finland. He is. Hi, Sami. We left for a while.
Hello.
Yeah,
you're back.
You're back. We are still connecting. When Sami now is trying to get back online, why don't you post a question for Sami? We will try to get it up and running here. But this is the problem with live stream. We are living from a mobile phone connection. And try again. If we can connect Sami. Here we are. We are back now.
Hey, sorry for that. Cannot do nothing for the line.
No. It's we even routed all your friends' telephones to the Spain number. So if they're calling, they will end up in the Spanish telephone number.
Yeah. So I was saying that for the Scott. So I have huge respect for him and how he was racing against you. He was the driver where you could always trust what he's doing. So there was no any surprises. He didn't make your life more difficult than it was already to overtaking. No stupid driving and no pushing you out of the limits and whatever. And if you was faster, you can overtake him. Okay, it's never easy to overtake anybody, but he didn't make any unnecessary actions there like the others. But I would say for him, it was more sometimes. It didn't happen so often because he was so fast in that times to race next to him. But in the later on, it happened, and then he was always same. You know, never overdrive and never push you in the try to close you wrong way or out of the rules. You know, doing any stupid things. So the respect came from that. He really earned his respect, and it stays forever.
I had some help setting up some questions for you. Chris Davis has followed you for a long time, and of course Stephen Michaels. So thanks to both of them. This one is from prepared from Chris Davies. Actually, he says during your time in Formula One, you had so many tough teammates. Patu Leppala, Alex Carella, to name just two. Are any of them still on your Christmas card list?
Yeah, Christmas card list. I don't send these days anymore the Christmas cards, but of course with Berti we always sending the wishing the Christmas. And okay, Carella, I think maybe I don't remember. I think there was for sure there was the long period we didn't even say hello or whatever because okay, I was upset what happened in 2015 in Porto. For me, that was not fair racing that time. He really touched my boat and crashed and put me to crash. I had the technical problem on the engine. It was completely unnecessary to do that kind of the driving. And that was not really fair and really unsportsman behavior, what I didn't respect at all. So I didn't bother to talk to him for a long time. I didn't have nothing to say about why I should spend any time. But I don't have, of course, those are past, has been happened already. And he's a great guy and great driver and 4 times world champion and do his things. When I don't have any problem to anybody if they just when everybody respect each others and keep the racing fair as fair it can be. And of course there is the situation you go close to the limit and sometimes over the limit, but then you need to be. If you do mistake, it's not too difficult to go to apologize and say, okay, I did it wrong and I overreacting or overdriving my boat and did something stupid. But I don't like it when the drivers is making the bullshit after what something happened. So that pissed me off.
Sean Torrente was with me here last night and talking about like, dislike, and so on. He was very clear. He was very clear in the fact that him and Alex are not even talking, and that goes both ways and so on. And we were talking about promotion of the sport and to build the characters and so on. Sean was saying that he thinks that we should broadcast more of the behind the scene, more of the fights, more of the personalities, more of this to attract more people. What's your thought on that, Sami? I mean, I challenged him and I said, it looks like you all want to be good friends, and that's not really the situation because you are world champion. You're fighting for the world championship. You cannot be always nice and polite and so on. And to build up the fan base of the Powerboat, what's your idea?
Yeah, for me, I see differently. For me, you can race hard there, and of course, you don't need to be closest friends and go to dinner with them and spend the time. But you need to have the respect. Everybody, we're risking our life there a little bit for the racing these boats and respect. For me, if you look to rally, they are not same time.
Unfortunately, we are challenged. What's in your? There's a lot of good questions coming in, so I'm preparing them for Sami once we get him back online. It says here that we are trying again.
Yes, yes. So I was saying that even the Formula One cars, you see now the kids, they playing the simulator games together and make the fun there. Yeah. Okay, for me that's not good for the sport. For me, it looks a little bit stupid. What these guys are now lately, last few weeks doing there. The guys get paid for millions and they are just playing with the games there and really stupid things. But that's the completely other story. But I'm saying this kind of the behind the scenes, yes. For sure, there's the great stories, but make it. It can be fun, but for me, don't make the bullshit. We are not enemies there. We are just drivers. We are friends. We knowing just competing against the others, but you need to have the respect and stop the bullshit. Of course, if you make the TV program out of it, you can get it much more out of it when you say I'm bad, I'm not friend of Sean, and things like that. Like. Same for me and Carella. The people make the big number out of it that for a long time that we are not friends and whatever. I hate Sean and whatever. I don't know where it came from. So I don't, of course there was the moment when I was not happy with how they they drive and against to me and did some dirty tricks what I don't respect. There's plenty of drivers who never do that, and they went over the line to me, and I don't need to play with them then. But when we are closing the canopies, put the helmet on, we go to race, they are one of the guys or guys or girl or whatever, you try to beat them and drive fair and keep racing against them.
Sven Krekels, he's a radio man, and he says, for me it's interesting if Sami wants to have more information or less. And what kind of information do you require from your radio man?
Honestly, not too much anymore. I never, because I started, when I came to Formula One, I had a radio man from Pertti. He did the radio to Pertti and to me. He had the one side was Pertti and the radio, and other year was for me. Yeah. So I didn't have I learned it that time. I was by myself all the time. I hardly ever get
it was Adolf or Capitano?
Yes, Capitano.
Capitano.
So he did it speak so much to me. If there was a yellow flag or something, then he tell that. But otherwise he'd say, okay, 20 more laps to go and that's it. Yeah. But never give any instruction or nothing. So I learned it from that time. But of course now more than, 15 years, almost 15 years, I have it Michael Jenkins with me in the radio. He know exactly what to do. He's really great on the radio. He know what I want to know. And he's my extra pair of eyes. Of course, I'm saying that who is closing up and be careful here, and he can also understand the conditions and if something abnormal happened there in the race course, what can affect my driving. So it's been great, but I don't need so much, of course, because I can with those amount of the races what I have done it, and sometimes without radio when you have the problem. So you know what's going on there without any radio.
20 years ago, you raced with a Weldon-prepared OMC, and with the changes now coming to the F1 H2O with the Mercury engines coming very soon, is it time that there will be multiple brand in the? Nobody's coming, Sami. You're completely alone.
That was great, but it's the car light. There's the car going somewhere.
Is that your imaginary friend now saying something?
No, it's here. It's waiting.
I know you have the Milwaukee friend, or what's the name?
Milson.
Milson.
Yes. Milson.
No, let's go back to the question. What do you think about the engine situation, and is it time we have multiple brand racing, also more than just Mercury?
Yeah, it will be definitely. We know it's coming. The new engine for us, big, huge change for us. It's a little bit like this virus. We don't still not knowing what's gonna happen and what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But we know it will change the sport. It will change everything. And let's say, I think we need to discussing about that, because I think we have to do same what Formula One cars has been doing. They frozen the existing rules now, and the new cars will not coming next year in the Formula One cars. And because the team budgets and how the world will be now and how many races will be there now, we don't know. So, and unfortunately, this all came in the same time, and they should introduce this engine already first launch in March in Dubai floating boat show, and then they should make the other appearance in the Portugal Formula One race to put it on the boat and show it how it runs there, and then we would go forward with that from there. But now all things has been cancelled and postponed, so we don't know. But definitely it will come. 4-stroke engines. I really hope that multi-brand would come for this class, and for the powerboating it would help definitely, especially in Formula 1, even Formula 2. And if the rules are right and the other manufacturers see that those engines can be also the one of the front runners, why not?
Christopher Gulbrandsen, he says, I remember Sami raced the 3-liter OMC. Why did you change back to the Mercury? You wanted to go back and winning, obviously, but Christopher is a great OMC fan. His father was having an OMC workshop, and he's always posting the OMC stuff. He loves the V6 and the V8 from Johnson and Evinrude. But why did you change back? And in which time was this happening in your career?
Yeah, it was 2003. We was there in the third year from KES. Okay, 4 years with KES. Okay, the project started to be. We was very close to make it to successful, the winning. We knew there was the potential from the engine to be the winning engine. Yeah. And I knew it, the power difference with Formula 1, the 2.5 and that engine. After I went back to Mercury, it was like there was nothing behind me after OMC. But the problem was that there was some parts what was failing on the engines and some different roads and all the respect from the case, he was a little bit like the dictator in that time. There was only his way and no other one's way to make that project going on. Mm-hmm. And then there was a lot of guys who would know what to do to make the engine staying together, get the speed and get all the benefit out of it. But he was also seeing the big picture that he would be an engine supplier for the winning teams and all the teams, and he wanted to control everything. Mm-hmm. And he didn't trust anybody. And then, of course, after certain years, the budget started to be issue. He didn't want to spend the more money for the project anymore. And unfortunately, that moment I had some, I think 3-4 races where it was terrible for me. And I say, I will lose all my sponsors if I cannot finish the races. So I give him the proposal that we will put Mercury on in my boat. I will keep racing that, but same time we keep testing with OMC and really testing and make it to work. Because I believe that engine that time, but yeah. There's no way that I could race with Mercury on the races and testing with him with OMC. And then I make the tough decision. It was one of the toughest in my career. And okay, then I went for the Mercury. We changed middle of the season, and then I finished few races, and then the rest is the history. So unfortunately, that project died there, and a few years later, KS got the cancer, and unfortunately, he passed away. So it was sad.
Michael Pape, he asks, what do you think is the effect to the boat spec due to the engine change? What have to be changed? What have to be done when the new engine is coming into place? Nobody knows.
Everything.
Everything.
We know everything. Yeah. The problem is that even the containers, we cannot transport the boats how they are now to build for each team has been building the containers to transport the boats like they are. Yeah. So that will go. For sure, the boat needs to be bigger, longer. The engine will be approximately 50 kilos heavier, so it will change everything. And you could get avoid with the weight if you could be able to build the wider boat. But we have the limits. The container is the limit. You cannot make the boat wider than the container. So there is no chance that you could avoid only making the boats wider and for the weight. So it will change. It will change everything there, and the weight is a little bit higher. So for sure, the speed around the corners will come slower. Okay. And but what I hear from the Mercury testing that they say that the speed is great. They start going very fast there for sure. There's a lot of power and the torque in that engines, and we will see that. But for sure, it will change quite everything. For the boat, you need to have your different boat for sure. Maybe not beginning. It will be same like when the two Optimax came to Formula 2. You could use with existing boats, but in the short time you notice that you cannot be one of the front runners if you don't build new boat for it.
I'm trying to. We're going to go by all the questions here in a minute, but I'm trying to make the questions in a relevant order as we go along. So. Paolo Longhi, he says, have you always used the Baba racing boats, and would you like to try other boats?
No, I have been trying different boats with Formula 2. I test even the Mole kart when I make some races with Formula 2 few times. And then with Weldon, I use his boat. Dana gave me once with OMC. I had the birches on it.
Yeah, I remember I tried it.
Yes,
It was a
with that one. Yeah, but okay, I start with my career with the DAC. I spent also my first 2004 and 3. I used with Mercury 2.5 with the DAC, and several. I had a few different DACs that time, but since 2005, when I ordered the first Baba and Baba brand came up, so the first boat was mine. So let's say they had the plan. Massimo Rocciero and Claudio Borro at that time, they had the plan to.
There it stopped again. Let's see if we can get Sami. We're tonight talking to Sami Selio, 2 times world champion, 2007, 2010. Racing for the Charger team. Sami has been in quarantine for almost 2 weeks back home in Finland, and he has been now also a long period of time before that in Charger. So on Wednesday, he has told us he's going to go back to family. Let's see if we hooked up with Sami. Now we start the call again. Why not? Well,
Yeah, back.
welcome back to the show. I just repeated some of the stories that we talked about, and the last thing I said was on Wednesday, Sami is going to be reunified with the family.
Yes, yeah. But so I was saying that then 2004, end of the year, I spoke with Massimo, and I knew that they was already repairing one of his DACs. They had the molds to build up the boat, let's say to fix it, the boat by themselves. So I knew that they was quite long, and they knew a lot of the building the boats. I say, if you ever will build your boat by yourself, I will order one. And then Massimo asked me, are you serious? I say, yes, I want to have the new boat for the next year if you can build it. And they had the project already on the paper.
Yeah.
So I bought the boat only on the paper. And then 2005, the first Baba was ready. And the first year I became second in the championship immediately. So didn't win any race, but I had to several times in the podium. So it was great.
Let's see. You better think before you answer this next question, okay? Because it's coming from Hamala Husani. And he said, what's your visions for Sharjah team?
Yeah, what is my visions? Of course, we need to be the winning team. Of course, it's hard task. Competition is very hard, but that's what we have been building up everything. Of course, first year we started in the rush because all the boats was on the way to first race when we made the agreement with the Sharjah Marine Club and started building the team. Of course, you cannot build the team in the one night. Everybody knows that. Even the, let's say, Abu Dhabi team was ready for running for years, and even the Guido, it took some time. Even first year was not. They didn't win the championship in the first year, so it only came later on. So we're building up everything, and hopefully we be able to bring the championship to Sharjah. I hope I can still get my third title, and I can supply that for them. So we're working very hard for that. And if not, at least the team need to be front runners. We have the great program there, and for sure it will be high. And then, of course, with Sharjah, it's so nice to be part of this program to build up the whole, helping them to build up the whole Marine Club and start with the juniors and make everything for the powerboating there in the Sharjah. So there's a lot of plans and local races with the juniors, the next Formula 4s, maybe Formula 2s in the future, and have the local drivers coming to driving on the flag of Sharjah around the world with the different classes. And we're working hard for that. We have some drivers there already taking part for Formula 4, even testing soon Formula 2. And then there's the new guys coming Formula 4. And then when juniors will start, we hopefully can start to have the school there for powerboating, for the academy there for the Sharjah. So it's good project. I'm very happy and honored to be part of it, and we will make it good.
Which brings up the next question. I think this one comes from Chris Davies, who has followed you for almost your whole career, at least in Formula One. He says, when can you see the day that you are the F1 H2O team manager for Sharjah, watching Philip Roms and Sandenberg racing together? Or maybe a local? How many years are you looking into the future then?
Yeah, of course. That there will be the date for that, of course. Sooner or later, let's say, of course, there's the moments when you think, okay, maybe that's it, but I still feel that I can be one of the top runners there. I'm still feeling that I can win the races. I have been very unlucky with technical and before we had some issues with the team and whatsoever. So, but I feel that when everything be built together, I can still win. I want to win, and I want to win for Sharjah. So I hope I can manage to do that before I need to jump out of the boat and let the young guys to replace me. But let's see. Of course, I'm not saying there I will stay forever there and racing. I feel still young. I'm not feeling old, and we have the much older drivers still in the field and doing well. But of course, we need to think about the whole package. It's not to me. I have been racing enough, but like I said, I'm very honored to be the part of the Sharjah program, to make the powerboating bigger there in the Sharjah and have them the race and building up this project. So I think there will be the time, and I think when the moment comes, when that date will come, of course, it will be a sad moment for me. But anyway, I had a great career. I have win the title already twice. So far I have done all my dreams to come true. So I should.
Three is a charm, isn't it?
Yeah. Three is something when you have done twice, and third time, of course, every time you've done it, then you say, what is your next goal? It cannot be less than the previous one. So one more, why not? But that's the goal, of course, and we need to work hard for that. And it's not only that I need to win, but of course we want the team to win, and that we have been working hard for past months. And starting from the project from the last year, we knew that the first year it will be difficult for us because we didn't have the time and all the things was not on the place. But now the second year will be different.
Paul Furman has been joining us on this show. And he says, hi, Sami, do you have a favorite race circus? And if so, why? Which one and why?
Yeah, this is always with the powerboating is difficult question, because even you have one favorite once, and then you can have the shitty weather or difficult weather there and you don't do well, then you don't like the place at all, or you crash there, whatever. So it changes your mind. It's not like the car racing, that the track is same, because powerboating, you need to remember that each single lap for your life is always different.
Yeah.
There's the waves and the wind, what you cannot control. So each single lap is different. So there's a lot of great ones. And of course, when it's where you have been winning, but next time you go there, you don't do so well. You don't like that place at all anymore.
Because boy, have you had some crashes, and which one is the one you remember the most? I have one in mind because I have a little video coming up. But
yeah,
for you?
Yeah, of course, that from the crashes, so some memories you have for something. Okay, then when you don't have really memories, those the worst one, like in China 2011 when I almost lost my life. So that was the bad one. And the other ones, yeah, of course, those ones when you feel that you didn't do any mistake, you was really driving on the edge, and you just there was the just bad wave or something like that. You was just unlucky, and those happened. Those you remember very well.
I have one here where you got caught off properly. Let's have a look at this one.
Selio on the backside of this circuit. Hits a wave. He hit a rogue wave, Jonathan. 1, 2. Looks like almost 3 times he went over as he barrel rolled up in the air.
Pushing maximum, and then suddenly was the, again, bad wave there. And when you're pushing maximum, sometimes it's happened, and now it happened second time to me. And then I barrel rolled, so that's it.
You walked out of that one, Sami.
Yeah, it was a very difficult season, very unlucky, because previous race I was in Harbin in the time trials. I think was again Q2 or something like that. I was second fastest, but I knew that I didn't nail any laps, so there was the big rollers in the back straight, and then you knew it that if I can hold it in the back straight, I will do it. And then I went go for it. There was no reason. That's the most stupid things, because it doesn't matter you are second or first there, but I knew it. I just want to do it myself. That I knew it that I had the speed, so I passed the back straight without any problems. So the big waves didn't hit me, but then I end up for the corner, and there was the one wave, and I barrel rolled there, destroyed the boat on Harbin. Then we go to next race was Liu Shu, and then this happened. So this was the next race, and okay, this wave probably came from the jet ski, what you see in the background there, the jet ski turn, and that was the one of the rescue boat, because the condition was perfect there. There was nothing, and this was in the time trials again, and I was wide from the turn because you were starting your lap and taking the speed to start the lap, so there was nothing. So just went there and hit the wave what you couldn't see it, and there was nothing before, so barrel rolled there, and of course lose the previous weekend, and it was tough times.
And that jet ski driver is also not on your Christmas card list, eh?
No.
Let's talk a bit about promotion, Sami, because you are probably one of the... Oops, there you go. One is... You're back already. Good. I said you are one of the better promoters of the sport, not only for yourself, but for the youth. You are president of the Finnish Powerboat Federation, and you have been chasing sponsors over many, many years. Tell us a little bit about your trials and success there. You have been driving for some big brands, now Sharjah, Tourism Sharjah. You have been having Mad Croc on your team and so on. Tell us a little bit about your philosophy on how to attract the sponsors and how you do it.
Yeah, it's hard work, of course, and this sport, there is not the big team behind it, like the marketing team, what you should have to catch the big ones and do it. So it's hard work, of course. You need to see the whole package and do a lot of things. We have two-seater in Finland in the past where we did a lot of events. Okay, Finland, we are quite much, let's see, the people is crazy about the motorsport. We have the Formula 1 drivers, we have rally drivers, and then we have World Championship in the boats as well. So it's helping, of course, and you're a little bit famous here, so the marketing and keep working, but you need to do a lot of things and be active all the time, contact the people, be polite and nice with them, and keep working hard. It's not coming. This is not the sport where the sponsor will call you and say, here, we have money, we want to give you. So you need to think about whole package, and it's not only to glue the stickers on the boat, so you need to give something else for them. So you need to work with them and go with their own events, and sometimes do even the silly things what they request from you, but that's part of the work. You need to do what they want and keep them happy, and that's make sure that you will get something from them and you are able to race.
What is, in your opinion, needs to happen to make powerboating more popular and to increase the sponsorship? Question pops in from Ken McCrory.
Yeah, it's of course the events. It's always the local promoters who is organizing the events. In Finland, we changed the system a few years ago. Before I came the chairman of the Powerboat part of the federation, but they changed the system. They give the rights for the promoter, the one local promoter who is organizing the Finnish championship races, and it was right decision. Of course, there's also facing some difficulties, whatever. But let's say the give the pressure away from the clubs to organizing the one single event per year with let's say only with the club members and having all the materials to organizing the race. It was the right choice, choose to give it for the promoter to do it. So they will be the same. They know that the level of the organizing the races will be same for everywhere, every city where they go, and then make the events better and of course marketing them, because we are a nice sport. You know, the people is easy to come to watch us. We are normally close to cities. First of all, you need to bring the races in the cities. Like in Tonsberg, you have it's in the city. So we also in Finland, we used to have the races in small towns away from the public. But now we try to bring them in the big cities, close to the city centers if there's the water, and try to make them more attractive and have them there. Keep it, let's say, cheap for the audience to come there. In Finland, they are free. Yeah. Try marketing them, and okay, the show is the boats in the water, and make the schedule that there's all the time things happening, because the world has been changed. Now you have all these kind of the mobile games and video things and whatever. People don't want to come to see anything what is boring. So they cannot be long period, nothing happening in the water. You need to have a show. You need to make the big show there. There's the action happening, and even between the heats or the races, you need to have something going on there, and the people need to get the information. And okay, now you can have the application by the results and everything on their phones. So something like that need to happening. Otherwise, they will not come there. But those who always come and they see the powerboating going, they love it. A lot of, if you make the asking from the people that how they feel about after the race, they are all excited.
If we can show them once, they're hooked, right?
Yes, exactly.
Johannes, he said, and you've answered and you've gone through a lot of it, but Sami, can you tell a little bit about race weekend and what is happening in Finland to grow the powerboat racing scenes, especially regarding the juniors?
Yeah, okay, that for sure is the key part. To have the juniors there, starting in the smallest classes, give them a big support, make all the boat clubs to be interesting, to organize the testing and training for the juniors. And then you will get the drivers for the big classes, because there will be not so many drivers who want to start straight from Formula 2 or Formula 4 or GT30 classes. But if you start with the smallest classes like SJ10, what we have in Finland and now in Sharjah, you are 8 years old, you can start the racing there. And of course, step by step, you want to jump in the bigger boats, and who knows, maybe till the Formula 1 like I did.
But I have the big problem here at home, because, I also have a bonus daughter who is racing. But Camilla, she actually likes a lot just to... we lost again. We will try to connect. Here we are back. I said... Do you have the same problem as I have? Because I have a bonus daughter, Camilla, and she's racing on my team and so on. But for her, it's more important to run around in a nice racing overall and be a part of the kids group than to win the races. This is a bit frustrating, Are the Selios the same competitive as yourself, or is there different level?
There is, of course, different characters like my daughter, Stella, my middle one, she was started racing and she did quite well in the few years. She was second in Finnish championship and win some races. And now there was the more boats coming on. And last season she did it. Okay, she won the first race, but after that she flipped, and then she was not anymore really in the first, second, or third. She was running fifth and sixth. So she started losing the interest, because she said, now it's so hard and so difficult. Before I was in the front, I said, yes, competition is getting harder, so you need to just try harder and drive better there. But she's losing a little bit, but of course, you need to race for any position. But my son, he is tough one. He liked to be in the front, and he just want to catch the always, doesn't matter what position he's racing, last year when he started, he only wanted to be in front of his sister.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what position they was racing, but he wants to be in front of Stella. So it was funny.
2 days ago, Timmy Siebel was at my live show, and he said the same thing. But those names were Bill Siebel and Mike Siebel, you know. So he said it didn't matter where he finished as long as he finished in front of his brother and father.
Yeah. That for there. But for me, it will be more fun when there's a lot of boats, and I say you need to fight, and there need to be competition for each position.
Yeah.
If you have just the front runners goes away, then you're running fifth and sixth and there's no competition. It's boring even for the audience who come to see. They don't like to see that one boat just finishing the race.
Another 14 days in quarantine.
Yeah, maybe. So winning the race is by itself. So they want to see competition. Doesn't matter the position. If there's the big fight on the position 5, it's great show. So that we need. We need a lot of boats on the water, 20 boats at the same time. The show will be there, and it will be amazing.
Yeah, because Stephen Michael, he said, because he was preparing a lot of these questions and so on, and he said, what's with all the kids? So you're trying to build a hockey team? No, you're trying to build a powerboat racing series. Because how many boats do you have now in the Finnish championship?
No, it's growing. We had it the last races. We had the juniors more than 15 boats already. So now, okay, of course, there was some people start to be afraid that we have too many boats. I say, let's not worry it before it's happening, but we can always find a solution there if we have the first heat and pre-qualifying or something like that. But let's see.
Of course. When do you think the activity will start in Finland? What is the foreseen on that?
Of course, now nobody don't know really in this moment. So we need to wait for the instruction from and orders from the government. They will say something about again in 13th of May. They will have 13. They will have something outcome already end of April, but 13th of May. Before that, you cannot for sure not to have any getting events organized. Yeah. And I think all the bars and restaurants will be closed till end of May. Mm. So how it goes, my personal view is that it will be end of July or August when you can do something, unfortunately.
In Norway, they say that until the 15th of June, we are not allowed to do anything. We can make practice. And then they say that before the 1st of May, we will have some more information on the rest of the season. I think it's one of your, let's see, did I lose it? I had a question here from Roberto Moltenero. You know that guy, don't you?
Yes. Yes.
He's probably looking for work because he says, do you think that we're going to race this year?
Yeah, I do hope so. We keep working for that. There will be something happening for us, and who knows? Let's hope this virus will disappear and will be over. But it's take time because it's not only that what's happening in the Finland or what's happening in the Norway. When we will start the season, we need to make sure that all the countries are already letting the people travel. There's no risk to come because if we're going, example, like Formula 2, if they're planning to have that still happening in June or whatever in Portugal, they're really working on that. So how we can go there if there's the big viruses going in Italy? You cannot have those Italian guys entering there or they're afraid to come. So it's big question mark. But of course, we keep doing for sure. We start as soon we get our boats back to Portugal, we are able to go there to work. We will start our big train.
It's been a good night talking to Sami Selio. We are struggling a bit because he's sitting in quarantine. And now we're hooking back up via Skype. There you are, Sami. So you said you are going to go straight to Portugal when the equipment is coming to prepare.
Yes, and for sure we have the big testing facilities there, and they are fine. They're waiting for us, and everybody hoping also there that this virus will go away and we can be entering there, and we start to testing and doing our program for be ready for the races. So, but
what do you think the UAM should do? Because the calendar shows that we have international ordinary races already at the end of May, which from my perspective is not possible, and it's not even allowed. And like you said, with the different problems with the different nations, what do you think the UAM as a world governing body, because they are the ones handing out and giving out the titles, even if, let's say, Norway or Finland, which has been in this pandemic situation doing very well, you know, we could open up and have races here, but to mix the nations is probably, and to open the borders, that's the big question. What do you, if you were having a conversation with the president, what would be the advice?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to UAM. They are not organizing any events. Like you said, they are handing over the rights to organize the race and this title events.
But
so
the governing body.
Yeah, but they cannot cancel the event. It must be the federation to each country who is organizing the events, or they giving the local promoter to organize. They must cancel. But I think they should just work together with the members and these national authorities to working. For sure, there's the common sense that when the Europe is in this kind of the situation, everybody need to monitoring together that. And like I said before, that we cannot organize the events as long then the title events, as long there is all the countries are open. For me, maybe those small classes where is the title event is only one round. Quite soon, I would feel that would be right to make the phone call for each national authorities and maybe forget from this season. Because also we need to remember that even Norwegian would like to organize, let's say that August something like GT30 World Championship race.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Maybe all the countries will open 1st of August, but there could be restrictions in the certain countries. You are not able to go testing or do any practicing before that August. So it would not be fair that have the first race would be immediately the title event without any practicing if the other ones has been done that. So for me, maybe postpone everything and skip this year for the smaller classes. The bigger classes, where is the championship and like Formula 2, Formula 1, where you can go till the Christmas time or even the January, because we're going always out of the Europe to race the final races. Why not? There's no need. We have a lot of time to see what's going to happen with the virus, and I truly believe at the end of the year, after the August, and I'm hoping that the world will be getting back on track and we can have some races.
Of course. Let's see. 2 Formula 1 teams and many drivers participate in the Endurance World Championship 24 Obrowan and Augusta in Poland. Will we ever see you on these races? Is a question from Christophe Livier.
Yeah, it has been our mind. My father used to race in Rouen a few times in Formula 4.
Yeah?
Early 90s. So he has been there and been in the podium in Formula 4, I think, a few times there. Never won it, but I think they finished second already there in the Rouen. So it's in the family. But honestly, we had some discussion with the Sharjah team for that, but we didn't think about at the moment it would be our task. You need to have experience and need to be completely different stuff for it, and let's say build up the team only for that. And you should have some experience only driving there to go there to win. But who knows? Personally, for me, nobody never asked me to join any of the teams, so I don't know why. Maybe I'm not like a guy to come to join any teams, so I don't know why.
I had the invitation a couple of times, but I actually turned it down myself. I even was a team manager at one time because the foreigners had better start money than the locals. So I had my own team participate. Anyway, Sean Torrente, he said that for his team Abu Dhabi, they used to do it for the Formula 2 drivers and so on because then they had a season worth of racing on their butt, sort of saying, you know, before the season even started. So that was his argument to, or Guido's for sure, and the teams, that there was so much seat time available in a 24-hour race that was the big benefit from it.
Yeah, you could see like that, but honestly, when you see them racing, it's completely different than the circuit racing, what we're doing, the balance of the boat, the weight, what you're carrying, you're only turning right all the time. The speed in the corners is nothing. So for sure, any time on the seat is good, but why you should not practice if you, for me, that is a little bit silly reason to go only for that there. So of course, they want to win the titles. There's the World Championship around, you know, they give it the points for that from the endurance. So it's something. And of course, if you win the 24 hours of the Rouen, it used to be a very, very big event in the history.
You won something. We have a very good friend, which we think very fondly of, both of us, I know, Vahur Juhala. When we're talking about challenges and so on, he has actually been beating the coronavirus. And he said, Sami, we listen to you very carefully. So as a member of the council in the UIM, it's good support from Vahur and that the UIM are following us and supporting us, and of course are doing a lot of steps to follow us.
Yeah. I spoke with a couple of days with Vahur, and he's lucky one. He had the terrible virus to hit him very hard, and he was 2 times in bad shape with the breathing machine and everything. But now he's fine. Luckily, he survived it, and I wishing all the best for him to recover fully.
He's doing a fantastic job having the UIM Facebook sites where he's posting a lot of the pictures of the drivers and so on from any category. He is doing a very good job in promoting because the UIM has many classes, many champions, and Vahur has really put a task on promoting the not so famous classes, and I also want to compliment him for that, because there are many good drivers coming up which will soon take over from us, from the GT30 and the GT15 and all these different OSY and 125, 250 classes and so on. So a shout out for Vahur and his job to promote the sport.
Yes.
How soon will it be then before we see a two-boat team in Sharjah for the Formula 2 class with a local driver in it?
Yeah, let's see. Of course, we go for like we did last season. That's the plan now. Let's hope the season starts very soon and we can go with like we did it before. But of course, we have the drivers now in Formula 4. Actually, there's the 2 drivers in Sharjah who's running with Formula 4 already. But I think next year, not this year, we are not ready for Formula 2 yet, but step by step, still do some Formula 4 races, training at least. Let's hope there's enough races this season for Formula 4. Otherwise, we just keep training them in the summertime in the Portugal. And then, let's say, when the condition is better and not so hot anymore in Sharjah, we will move our stuff back to Sharjah and start to really do a lot of training there, even if if we can, and of course there is no races, we just keep training them. But then, of course, quite soon to Formula 2 and then Formula 1. That's the plan of the Sharjah team, to have the local national drivers there to come to compete in the top of the world.
When I visited you together with my family in December, just before Christmas, you also said that there was initial thoughts and discussions to have so-called winter training camp for the juniors even, so that people can come and visit Sharjah and train at your club and so on. Do you think that's going to be possible in 2020, 2021 season?
Yes, that we're working on hard there, and that's the plan. We have already the training center. The buildings are there. There are some beautiful plans to make the club building there where we had our tents and the place to keep the stuff at the moment. So let's hope everything works out well, and we are able to have the buildings there and organize some races. And the plan is that to have these junior class boats there enough that the European drivers from Scandinavia and around the Europe, they can come there to have like the winter camp. We can supply them the GT15 boats, junior boats. They can come there to visit, and family can have the holidays and they can come there. We can organize some training and testing for them in the winter time when it's not possible to do it in the Europe.
Yanni Lindholm, he is asking you, and now since you are the president, you are not only president for Formula and circuit racing, you're also president for offshore, I assume. And he's asking, when will you try offshore boats? Has that been a plan?
Yeah, actually, I had the plan. I never raced with offshore, never really tested a real offshore boat so much, but I got the invitation to come to Class 1 in 2012 season, 2011. But that was the moment when I had the bad accident and in China, and then I couldn't take the part of those races. But after that, there was never invitation for me. Of course, I know, and we see a lot of guys doing that with Eric Stark and Sean and whatever. But I never had like that kind of the passion to go for offshore, focus for inshore and whatever. For sure, it's great and nice to see some races there. And of course, the Class 1, how it used to be, it was very exciting would be the part to take the test with there, but it never happened. So no plans, but I hope that offshore will find a place and have the more boats going on. It's great sport and whatever. For sure, I think we are living now at the moment those kind of the times that maybe they need to think about what kind of the boats should be the offshore that the people could use, to maybe the same boats for the racing and the pleasure or something like that. Or also it's a little bit difficult for the point of the viewers to have the offshore that interesting and close to the public, that it could be coming bigger and bigger again, because it's always a little bit difficult to see them, the boats going. There's the great racing happening in the somewhere far away, and nobody don't see. So let's see.
One of our Norwegian local offshore drivers, he says, "Hello Sami, do you have a lot of nerves before a race, and how do you prepare physically and mentally right before a race? How do you get in your bubble, basically?"
Yeah, I don't have nothing special things, but of course Formula 1 is a little bit easier because you are already, let's say, week in advance already in the racing place, building up everything. So it's not just you put the boat on the trailer and go to race place, and few hour time you are in the water to racing. But in Formula 1 you go there building up the teams, and you are next to the boat so many days, so you have time mentally to be
in the bubble.
And be ready in the boat, and you're waiting. Let's hope we have free practice today. No, it's after 2 days, so you are in the waiting mode there so many days. But of course, the training, it's physically, it's every year more demanding. I'm getting older, like everybody, every day, every second. So you need to train a little bit more. And let's say, okay, the races are now last few years, they are shorter than they used to be. So for
70 laps in Formula 1 without power steering. My last race in Sharjah, actually with Sharjah branding on the boat, was more than 70 laps.
Yes, the races was minimum 45 minutes. Now we do minimum 30 minutes. So last 50 minutes, because it's not from the beginning, it's from the end. Exactly. It makes the use difference. And sometimes we race more than 1 hour when there was the yellow flags and everything. Okay, it was the problem for the promoter to have the TV time correctly, so they need to have the slot for the 1 hour for the program, so they need to change the format. But the races used to be quite much demanding because it was so much longer and harder for the drivers, and you are completely exhausted. after half an hour. Now we just do the maximum, let's say that, okay, maximum, but minimum half an hour. So it's more for the sprint race now, but let's say half an hour with this stuff, what we're using now, it's still quite hard, but really the hardest race, they was those times, those times. And when the power steering used to be the problems, or without the power steering, those was hard ones.
In 2007 and in 2010, that were both your World Championship winning seasons. Both those seasons you were coming from behind, winning the title both times in Sharjah at the last race. Which of the two championships was the most satisfying, 2007 or 2010?
Of course, 2007. That was there was Guido was still competing there, and Kilman was competing there. Everybody it was tough season anyway, and how we did it, I didn't have chance. I must win 2 last races, not only 1, but I need to also to win the Abu Dhabi, and I make the pole for the both races and win both races, Abu Dhabi and Sharjah, and that still I need to be lucky that Guido cannot finish higher than 5th position, what was normally, he always keep finishing higher. Yeah, in the end, but most of the race in Sharjah, he was running in the 7th. I think he had some setup problem or something was going wrong. So it was quite amazing. And I was the first one to break the era of it was either the Scott or Guido who has been winning from until 93 and Jonathan Jones few times. So I was the one of the young guys to beat them. Cantando was trying very hard for a few years, but he never managed to do it till the end. And then 2007, I was the first one to break this barrier what was there, and it was amazing.
We've had, and this question is also coming from, like the previous one, from Stephen Michaels. We had Grand Prix races in Finland, and I think this is going to be one of the last questions. We are going towards 1.5 hours, which has gone way too fast, but it's been very good to having you here on the Race Factory. But one of the last questions I have, if the audience don't have any more questions, and there are popping in a few, I will bring them on. But we've had Grand Prix races in Finland in 3 different cities. I raced the first city, I remember. We were quite young that day. But talk a little bit about those 3 cities and races. And are there any chances to get a race in Finland back on again?
Yeah, those first race was in Tampere in 98. What was, not my official first race, but that was the race where I make the deal with Pertti to go there. Okay, I was lucky he gave me the chance to go to race before in Chalon to take the pressure away.
Yeah,
I made some laps there, but Tampere was first race, was absolutely great event. A lot of people, very great race. And unfortunately, there was some problem with the contract with the city and the promoter who was running the show that time. They had some conflict there, and they cancelled the long-term contract what they had there in Tampere, but was great event. Then we had the cap. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a fantastic event.
Yes, it was fantastic, and a lot of people. And then we had a few years we didn't have the races there, and then we came back to 2003. Yes, or 4. We had 3. No, sorry, 2. We had the Helsinki. Sorry, I went jumping there to Helsinki. Pertti organized 2 events in Helsinki. That was quite okay race, but it was the area where it was closed port, where it was very difficult to attract the people to come in there in the port to watch the race. It was good events, but not what the people was waiting for it to come, and the place was quite challenging to organize the events. And then after I win the title, we had the race, we moved to Lahti, what was the absolutely great event. We had so much people there. The 2008, the event there was just amazing. Of course, there was the challenging, the area was so huge area what they need to use to have the race there for the public and everything, but the event was amazing. So much people there, every place. I still keep watching those pictures that so much people came to see the events. Unfortunately, I was very unlucky with those events. 2008 was not the good results. And 2009, okay, there was the 2 races. That time we had the format in Formula One that we have 2 events per weekend. Second race, I was in the podium, 3rd there. So it was quite okay. But then there was again some problem with organizing everything. And there was together with the rock concert and everything didn't go right. So unfortunately, it was not coming year after year then. And of course, we have had some discussion with different cities in Finland to bring the Formula Ones back. Sometimes we have been very, very close to make it happen, and but always some small things didn't went correctly there, and then the event didn't happen. But we are keep working on it, and of course, I have the dream to have one more time to the home event in Finland, and would be great that if I could be able still compete there and hopefully try to win the Finnish Grand Prix.
Ahmed Sami says, thanks for you and Sami. Thumbs up. We get great time to be live with you. And we are so much looking forward to go back to Georgia, because in December we all think and hope, and we have great forecast that we will be able to race. But this can be a question for both Ahmed and for you, you know. It's a political one. It's from Nikita Leach. She says, what about F2 races in Georgia? Because Abu Dhabi has already posted that they will have a race there. Is there any chance that we can have some Formula 2 races in Sharjah? Has it been discussed and as an additional event?
Yeah, so far we didn't have any serious discussion about it, and it needs to be sit down with the right people in the Sharjah, talk with Ahmed in the club and see what are the chances. Sharjah has been committed to organize Formula One events there now. There was that's the main things. They have been done that for years after the years. So maybe in the future, for sure, we need to get. Now Sharjah has the team. We have the Formula 2 drivers, and we did quite well even the previous season. So now we get the medal back, third position back correctly. So the Sharjah team went the first season in Formula 2 with the podium place in the world title. So it was great. So why not? But of course, it's not my hands, and we're hoping to have some races there. And let's see.
It's Sunday night. I have had the pleasure of having Sami Selio with me at the race factory for almost 1.5 hours. Earlier today, the kids was racing, what do you call it, Formula 1 cars at the YouTube channel for Formula 1. But I'm not sure so many know, but you had Lewis Hamilton in your 2-seater promotion boat. To wrap this up, Sami, how did he feel to go 6.5 Gs in your 2-seater Melgard boat on water? Being a one superstar like he was, or he is.
Yes, he's one of the Formula 1 stars. I had also Mika Häkkinen with me, from 2 times Formula 1 world champion as well.
Yeah.
So they all has been very surprised about the demanding of this sport and the G-forces, and they cannot believe that how fast we go in the turns without brakes, you know, with the car racing. They understand how demanding is the driving, and it's, let's say, the outcome from them. It's really amazing when these guys are saying, because for me, they are Formula 1 drivers from car, and I have been lucky to test one older Formula 1 cars, and it's the power what they have in the cars it's amazing, and how demanding the driving. Of course, I was far away from what I was driving very slowly and whatever. I was trying to do flat out in the back straight, whatever, but going the turns very slowly. But how demanding that was.
Yeah.
For me, it was the big respect for them, and then they sit next to me in the boat and they say, "Wow, this is amazing." So it was feeling great and give them the nice feeling, and they was very surprised.
Sami Selio, I wish you a good, pleasant trip back home to your family Tuesday night, if your wife picks you up, or Wednesday morning on the bus.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sami. I will finish the evening here with showing one of the most spectacular powerboat crashes out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked the show. It has been a good 1.5 hours here talking with Sami about promotion, Formula One, quarantine, and so on. I'm not sure who's going to be the next guest. Maybe you have an, what can I say, a proposal for me. So post that in the comment and we will see who is going to come and visit me at the race factory after we have a look at Sami Selio going upside and sideways. Bye-bye.
Selio on the backside of this circuit hits a wave. He hit a rogue wave, Jonathan. 1, 2, looks like almost 3 times he went over as he barrel rolled up in the air.
Pushing maximum, and then suddenly was the again bad wave there. When you're pushing maximum, sometimes it happened, and now it happened second time to me, and then I barrel rolled. So that's it.